Yo, what's up guys? Bajheera here, back at it again with another Path of Exile 2 update video for our Smith of Kitava warrior, who is now sitting at level 78, pretty smoothly cruising through like tier 6 maps at the moment. And that's just because that's where we left off last night. I think we can definitely push further than that. So, good news. I think our build is going pretty alright. We have reached a reasonably stable point in the end game progression where I do think that we can probably not only make these daily update videos for you here on YouTube and of course show you tons of content on the live streams on Twitch and YouTube as well, but also probably get you guys a written guide. So we're going to do this video, we're going to show you guys what we're cooking with, and then I think I will probably take this snapshot right here and put that in a written guide format for you guys, because I see a lot of people are really asking for that sort of thing. So happy to do it. I know a lot of people find that to be very, very helpful, just to be able to look at a kind of a web page and be like, okay, so here's the passives, here's the skills without having to watch the whole video. But I appreciate you guys tuning in for the videos as well, so happy to do that. Let's get right down to it. So like I said, we are level 78, Smith of Kitava warrior, hammering. We're doing a whole lot of leaping around, bone shattering, and it's been going really well. So let's dive into the talents a little bit. It's probably not going to look way different than last time. We didn't make that many changes in terms of our talent. We pretty much just built onto the talents. But this tree is likely to change over time, so we will see how it goes. But for the basics, we went into melee damage over the top. We came down into the sturdy metal for more armor stuff. We came down here for more armor, regen, and strength. A big part of what we were doing with this part of the early end game is grabbing a ton of strength off the tree to allow us to use Giant's Blood. That was kind of like the main thing that changed from leveling, where we were just kind of running around with the two-hander, it's fine, to actually wanting to get a shield on to be tanky. And that's the kind of thing you could do earlier if you wanted to. Again, I'm not necessarily showing you guys the points that I was putting in the order that I put them in. It's more just like, this is the stuff that I ended up getting. But we are probably maybe even going to consider dropping this sort of thing. I just don't know if it's really worth dropping. I mean, we may as well just path through here. We talked about this last time, because I do want the strength. But then we also came down through here. We did grab the increased AoE and more AoE damage nodes. We are sort of slowly working our way into more attack speed. I really do still like this early on for attack speed, while I don't have attack speed on gloves. I do have attack speed on weapon now, so that's nice. We may not need this as much, which is why I pulled points out of it early to go into other stuff over in the left side of the tree. I'll show you in a second. But I also am interested in pathing down here into here. I still like the idea of more strength and AoE, and just another one of these, you hit slower but hit way harder nodes, because I like those, and it's not too far off if we wanted to path through this way. So I have the one extra point in attack speed right now. We could put it somewhere else, we'll see. But anyway, so that's what I did on this part of the progression here. Then we went into more melee damage, increased melee damage against stun targets, grabbed a little bit of skill speed in here, came down through here for strength, of course, a bunch of two-handed stuff, more of that reduced attack speed, more stun buildup, more attack damage. That's so much. 40% increase is huge. And then we have a little bit of more AoE when we stun enemies. I even decided to grab the increased AoE because last time I was like, oh snap, Aftershock. I wonder if the impact shockwave on the Boneshatter actually is affected by this, and I think it is. So we grabbed more AoE and more AoE damage. And then, of course, the big Aftershock thing. This will be crazy if we decide to do Stampede, by the way. So we went down here. I usually will fill this whole wheel out with strength, and I still may even recommend doing that, especially if you are first into early mapping. I think it probably is worth doing this. I just don't need the strength to equip my weapon right now, so I moved the points over here. But maybe just for safety's sake, we could say just go ahead and grab the points down here, and I might do that in the written guide. But anyway, just to make sure you have enough strength. We went over here to grab this strength right here. The 15 strength is insane. The actual armor part of it is like, okay. Then we go over here, get a jewel socket just kind of for free. These jewels are not very good. They're just what I found. But I mean, the ignite chance is kind of cool for perfect strike. Go down here for stun threshold, more strength, more life is great too. I am using resolute technique right now. At some point we may drop resolute technique. Make sure we have enough accuracy, so then I can use armor break and do sunder stuff, because I like sunder a lot. But right now we're just using resolute technique, so we don't have to worry about accuracy. Going up here for the AoE, increased AoE stuff, increased stun buildup and attack damage, more AoE, and then increased AoE if you've stunned recently. You'll notice I'm stacking a ton of AoE. it is very nice to have those Boneshatters smashing the whole screen. That's what we're doing right now. So we'll come back down here, grab some reduced attack speed, more damage, and stun build up kind of deal. You're gonna see a lot of that. So right now we are still attacking okay. We're not going super slow, but we'll keep an eye on that. Right now I'm still taking stun build up into Titanic. Eventually I may drop these three and just anoint for Titanic, but it's okay because we're still pathing up there for all of this stuff. I still really like the extra max fire res, which is all res thanks to our ascendancy, which I guess I should mention. We're doing fire res. Fire resistance also grants cold and lightning resistance at 50% of their value, which is insane for capping res. And then we have modifiers to max fire resistance also grant maximum cold and lightning resistance, which is really nice. And it's one of the reasons why we're currently rocking 80 plus max res, and we will increase this over time too. But one of the ways we're increasing it is taking these nodes of fire resistance into all max res and all res. And then I even decided to grab these a little bit. I'm trying this again. Getting some rage on the build. I got a rage on hit jewel. I think I put it down here. And so I was like, okay, cool. Now it's time to do rage. So we have rage on hit, then we have rage when hit. So you have a ton of rage when hit by enemies, and also rage will give you increased % armor as you stack rage. Have another jewel socket, a little bit of Warcry stuff. Warcry cooldown rate and empowered attacks deal more damage, which is great because we do use Warcries for our heavy hit combo. We have a little bit of close damage. We're frequently attacking at close range with Boneshatter, so that's kind of how that works. And then we also just have more AoE on top there. Then we can go all the way down and grab these big strength, reduced max mana nodes. We do have a lot of strength, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this one anyway. This has given us about, what is it, like 30% increased damage at the moment, which is pretty solid. We are using Giant's Blood, which is one of the reasons we're stacking all this strength, so we can use a two-hander and a shield at the same time. Shields are huge for defense, extremely helpful, especially once you get to maps. You do want to put a shield on around maps. You can probably get through campaign okay without it. It makes a big difference when you get into maps, though. We're grabbing more all res, all max res here, and then another max fire resistance for each 40% uncapped fire res. That's one of the ways we're going to get really high max fire res, which is going to give us really high all res, and which is nice. So if we had 120% right here, it would be 82% fire res and 83 lightning and cold. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Then we're just coming down here real quick to grab a jewel socket. And that's what we're looking at right now. I think the main progression that I want to do for this one is, like I said, work our way down into this damage. But in the meanwhile, we may take attack speed. We also could do, and if we didn't want to do attack speed, another really nice thing that we could work on is this right here, where inherent rage happens slower. And then you also could make rage loss begin 1 second later. So that's really nice for keeping your rage as you're kind of rampaging through a map. And again, rage, if you remember, is a multiplicative attack % increase per rage. So when you have 30 rage, you have 30% more damage. Not 30% increased damage, 30% more damage, which is crazy. So that's super nice. And then that's where we're going. So I'm thinking it's either going to be rage or attack speed or more damage. I think that we're okay defensively. One thing I'm not doing right now is investing in block. That's another thing that you could definitely do, is if you're starting to just get crushed in maps, you may want to, one, find a shield with better block chance, like just baseline, and then you might want to invest in block. Just because that's one of those ways where you're not taking every single hit that comes your way. But right now I just have sort of, rather than making my block defense stronger, I'm making the defense behind the block stronger. So frequently with Path of Exile, you want multiple layers of defense. So right now, my strongest layer of defense is just elemental damage reduction. So when I get hit, which is frequently, I take less damage from it. But you can do things like you have your block, which means that every hit that comes your way, you don't take the hit. So you just have like hit avoidance. And then you have the hit mitigation in the form of like armor and elemental resistance. So when you get hit, you take less damage. And then behind that, you have your health pool, which is, you know, for me, it's health. And we don't have that much health. So our defensive layers aren't that strong, but we at least have three things, right? We have, it stops the hit gets through, we reduce the hit, and then the hit hits my health bar, and we don't have like and then eventually we're gonna want to scale all of that. We want to have more health to take, you know, for the health pool that can tank the hit. We were gonna have more damage reduction in the form of elemental resistance and armor to make the hit that when we finally get the hit, it is a smaller hit. And then we're gonna have even probably more block in the front end, maybe a little bit more block just because my shields are gonna have more block chance just innately, which means that we have less of a chance of getting hit at all. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Defensively, and then offensively, we can get more rage, we can get more attack speed, and we can get more damage. Eventually, we may want to do like some kind of bleed stuff so that when we hit with like Hammer of the Gods, it hits hard. And right now we're using Perfect Strike a little bit too, which is very Ignite based. But I think eventually, ideally, I drop Resolute Technique, we get more accuracy, we go into armor break stuff, and then we can use like Sunder and Hammer of the Gods with bleed, kind of like I did before. But we'll see. That's part of the fun, is we see how the character goes. In terms of what skills I'm actually using right now, we can take a look. Things haven't changed a ton, but we'll show you what we're working with. Mace Strike with Fire Infusion. I said things haven't changed a ton, but sometimes this might be the first video that somebody watches, right? So I want to be thorough. I have a little bit of bleed on there. We have a little bit of close combat on there with Culling Strike. I don't use Mace Strike a ton, but when I do, it's kind of nice for it to have a cull. It's kind of cool. Leap Slam, this is a big one. We're using Leap Slam a ton, and with Leap Slam, what we have is Overpower, so it stuns enemies harder. We have Brink. This is like the most important thing for Warrior, like besides like Boneshatter, I guess, is stun buildup caused by supported skills cannot reach 100. You cannot heavy stun enemies with Brink. You will very reliably prime them for stun though, which sets up Boneshatter nicely. Right now I'm using Holy Descent. The one thing about Holy Descent is that I'm frequently leaping and then rolling out of it. So I may not always be getting a ton of value out of Holy Descent, but it's kind of nice to have that there to heal yourself when you land. And Consecrated Ground also makes curses half effective, so that's kind of nice too. Because they buffed Temp Chains. It's like 20% now, so when you land, it becomes 11%, which is kind of nice. But Boneshatter is also the big one. Leap Slam, Boneshatter, like your bread and butter here. Impact Shockwave causes an aftershock when they stun an enemy, so it's like a big AoE in a radius around them. And we use Magnified Effect to make the AoE even bigger, and then we use Reach to make it even bigger. So this is one of those things that you can use for free, basically, because of Resolute Technique. The penalty is less accuracy when enemies are close to you. We don't care about accuracy, we always hit at this point. So all it's doing for us is basically just giving us 35% more AoE, and that's considerable. And then, just for fun, we have Ancestral Call, which is Ancestral Boost for strike skills. So the Ancestral Boost gives you, it says strike, because this says slam, but it's a strike. It says it's 30% more damage and 20% more AoE, and it'll target 2 additional enemies. So your Boneshatter is hitting a lot of enemies all the way across the screen. That's pretty sick. Then Hammer of the Gods, we have that with Fist of War, which does boost the slam, so it's, again, more AoE, more damage. We have less attack speed, more damage, and then we have more top-end damage. So we're just using Hammer of the Gods to hit really freaking hard right now. Perfect Strike is kind of like my catch-all. Like, once we, you know, have used our big combo, we can kind of continue to smack things. We have Window of Opportunity, we have Primal Armament, and we have Fire Penetration. One of the things that I was thinking, though, is another really fun option for this that I forgot about, but then I remembered this morning when I was waking up making my pre-workout. I was like, oh yeah, what we could do for this is we could use Concentrated Effect. If you don't mind a little bit smaller of an AoE, you could use Concentrated Effect, because we do have a lot of AoE, so it's actually okay. If you didn't want to use like Fire Pen, or if I wanted to do like less weapon elemental damage, we could do that. And I don't know if it's going to be that big of a difference. The Fire Pen is like nice, and maybe it makes more of a difference than the elemental, but you got options either way. I can just leave that there and we'll see how it feels. But it does kind of make the AoE a little bit smaller, but I mean, usually you're smacking somebody in melee range anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But I like Conc Effect for this one too. Primal Armament is okay. The Fire Resistance one is also pretty good. Infernal Cry, we've got Premeditation. So this Infernal Cry, just to reiterate, makes enemies like explode when killed, but it also gives you a whole bunch more damage as fire per power of enemy in the range. So when you use this on a strong enemy, it gives you a lot of power and it makes you hit way harder. And then that's also what the quality gives you. By the way, we're qualitying up Boneshatter first, and then I'm going for Perfect Strike second right now for the Ignite chance. But we go for Premeditation for more empowered damage. I guess skills empowered do more damage. Inspiration is have it costing a little bit less, and I also have it doing the Raging Cry. So when I shout right in front of an enemy, I get a little bit of rage, which will combo nicely with Seismic Cry. So Seismic Cry, I have that doing Dazing Cry, so when I go fight a boss, I'll use this on him first, and I'll just leap slam on him twice. Do it again, and do the just leap slam on him just to juice up the stun really quickly, which is very nice. Then we have life tap so that I don't have to worry about the mana cost of Seismic Cry, and then I have enraged War Cry. So usually what I'll do is I'll fight a boss like that. I'll daze him, jump on him twice, daze them until I can finally Boneshatter them. Once they're Bone-Shattered, I'll Infernal Cry, Seismic Cry, then we'll drop a hammer on them. So the Infernal Cry will generate rage, the Seismic Cry will consume the rage, and then the Hammer of the Gods will hit 30% more damage, which is nice. Shield Charge, right now I just have it for mobility. I don't really have anything socketed on it because I'm kind of capped out on what I can do. At least in terms of dex, I don't really need anything for strength on Shield Charge. I mean, all I'm using it for is movement. So it doesn't really matter that much. Herald of Ash, though, we are using Cannibalism for life regain on kill. And then we're using Herbalism for more recovery from life flasks while the supported skill is active. Time of Need is fast forward, so the effect of it giving me the heal and the cleanse happens more frequently. And we also have Clarity on there, just for mana regeneration rate. Don't really struggle with mana too bad, but we don't mind having a little bit of mana regen. For my gear, the gear is pretty trashed here at the moment, but we did actually make some upgrades yesterday, so something cool to show you. This weapon, it just dropped, and then we hit it with some Chaos Orbs, and it gave me increased physical damage, attack speed, and level to all melee gems, and increased stun duration. So the actual rolls on it could be a lot better, but it's actually not too shabby. Because again, what we want on the weapons are % increased physical damage, flat physical damage, attack speed, melee skills, stun duration. The suffixes are fantastic. It just needs to have like more fizz damage on top. Like % fizz damage is like with accuracy is okay for sure, because you want fizz damage with accuracy, hybrid, big fizz increased % damage, and then flat fizz. So you know, it's all right. It's gonna be okay for now, but that's what we're looking for. The suffixes are great though. Stun duration is awesome, melee gems is great, and then attack speed is great. Then of course we qualityed it up, chucked some iron runes in it, we're good to go. Helmet, and this pretty much goes for all armor. We want strength, life, and a little bit of resists are fine, but like other stats would be good too, because we get resist so easily just from our Kitava, Smith of Kitava Ascendancy. But we're socketing some fire resistance in there. Again, this gear is not perfect. I'll show you what I got, but what I want on this stuff is strength, life, maybe some resists, armor is great, and then other cool stuff too, like rarity. This chest piece, definitely don't want to get attached to it because we're gonna replace it with the white chest piece because we're gonna do the Kitava like chest piece crafting ascendancy. But right now, this is what we got. Got some armor on it, got some life, got some strength. These gloves dropped, which are pretty dang cool. Armor, strength, life for enemy killed is whatever. Increased global fizz damage is cool, but it did roll really low. But what's neat about it is the knockback direction is reversed. So like when I Seismic Cry it, instead of knocking enemies away, it pulls them in. When I Heroic Leap, or Leap Slam, it instead of knocking back, it pulls them in a little bit. So that's kind of just a cool thing to have. My rings, they're pretty bad, but they give me life, they give me all attributes, and they give me a little bit of res, so that's cool. Again, what I want on them is life, strength, maybe a little bit of res, and then other cool stuff like added physical damage on this would be cool, rarity is cool. Belt, same thing. I want life, I want strength and resist, which I don't have, but it is what it is. Movement speed on boots is mandatory. You want to get as much movement speed as you can with life and strength, maybe a little bit of resists. Rings, this one gave me a lot of strength, so that's great. Life, strength, great. And also, physical damage, physical attack damage as mana leech is great. That's nice, kind of helps my mana quite a bit. And then the amulet is life, strength, a little bit of resist is fine. But what I would also like is melee skills on the amulet. Don't have it here. Definitely suboptimal gear, but it does have a lot of strength on there, right? 6 all attributes plus strength is nice, right? And then the shield, we had this shield with strength on it so I could equip my weapon, but then it also exalted some block chance. So 37% block chance is not very good, but I mean, it's better than base block chance, so that's fine. Flasks, regaining charge for seconds, great. I like recovery applied instantly % personally. This is another option where you get the chance to gain a charge when you kill enemy is fine. Increased recovery rate on mana flask, I mean, it's whatever. And then for my charm, I'm still using chaos resist charm because I have no chaos resist. So let's double check it. Am I cooked? let's put this on there. Yeah, that's fine. I was like, we didn't even have any things on there, so let's put some things on there. In terms of my Atlas passives, I'm pretty much just going for a bunch of pack size. I've noticed that like the pack size in maps seems pretty juicy right now, so I just decided to put more on there. I was like, just stack it up, and then I wanted to have a rare duplicated. Then I came down here for more magic monsters as well, which is nice. And then now I'm gonna go up towards this one, using just more quantity of waystones. I like this one, local knowledge, so I can try to get those like jeweler's orbs to drop, because those are nice too. But that's pretty much what my character's setup looks like. I'm gonna find us a map and we're gonna hop in and I can show you guys a little bit of gameplay. But so far so good. Character's fun, gear's bad, but the build seems to be holding together pretty good. Definitely will likely change some of this around, but I think what's nice about this setup right here is it gets you a ton of strength on the tree, so you can get your shield on for endgame maps, which helps a ton. And if your shield's not great, at least you're bolstered by the fact that you have all this extra elemental resistance. We're a little light on armor, we're a little light on life, but a lot of that will come from getting better gear, which is a big part of all this anyway. But your resists are covered, you have a lot of max resist to bolster and make use of all this, which is cool. And then we have a little bit of damage to keep things rolling, and I'll show you what it looks like. I kind of want to avoid running like 150% increased stun buildup, just because like it feels like that is going to not necessarily give us a good picture of what this looks like. But we can do monster packs and less cooldown recovery, that's fine. I didn't actually have a map like a zone picked out. Augury could be kind of fun, just because there's a boss in there. We'll take a look, and we need a path to the corrupted area anyway. This isn't like a quick path, but it'll do. Let's do the Augury. Augury's not necessarily like a super comfy, cozy map, but that's all right. All in all, the build has felt really good. In terms of gameplay, what you're looking to do at this point in maps is make use of Leap Slam to prime enemies for stun, then Boneshatter them. Once you get a mob that survives your initial hit, you can perfect strike them. Or there be hags in this map, dude. There be hags in this map. I think we can kill her without Hammer the Gods, but you know what? Let's just do it, just to show you. So if there's weird rares that you don't want to have in your map, you just Hammer the Gods them. But the clear for this has been really good for that, like, all leveling. It's been great. You'll notice my rage is looking pretty nice throughout the course of the map. We get a lot of rage, a little bit of rage from hitting stuff, and then you get a lot of rage from getting hit. So you don't necessarily want to get hit a ton, but when it happens, not only are you benefiting from rage, like when you get hit, you don't lose rage, but now with the build, you're actually gaining rage. And we don't have a ton of armor, but the percent armor is kind of nice. This is not a nice place to have a ritual, bro. This is gonna be something. But let's do it anyway, just for fun. Oh, there's a little spirit in here too. Okay. Well, thankfully, with the Leap Slam, you can kind of just hit one mob in the very corner of the pack, and then your big old Boneshatter will like spread. Hey, don't be... Where you going, little guy? He wants to go find some rares. Okay, I guess we'll follow this dude then. But clear has been nice. We did our leveling process. Then we did our kind of like first couple of maps. So here, I'll show you that time. There's the Infernal Seismic combo. That'll give you a guaranteed mega buffed hammer that will aftershock. But we made it to maps. Did some map farming in the beginning there. Where's the hag? Is she toast? And then we've been doing some progging. Now that we're a little stronger, we've been able to prog the maps a bit. And so tier 6s is kind of where we're at. I don't think that we're stuck in tier 6 though. This seems pretty comfortable. I'm not trying to just sit there and tank too hard though. Did we get one of these? It's gonna freeze me. Okay, if we're gonna get frozen, let's make sure we detonate these things. But I've been enjoying the end game. I like the corruption zones are different. They seem like, I don't know, a little bit more like densely packed, and I feel like there's the precursor and tower situation in particular is awesome because the precursors seem to buff so many more maps. So like the density of rewards like seems way better, and you can put like multiple precursors in one tower, which is crazy. I really like that. So you have a lot more control over like what content you're doing, but also just the level of juice seems to be a lot more like noticeably increased in the end game. And this character in particular seems to be handling things just fine. Some weaknesses, like I said, my chaos res is a little bit low, and then just like general things like life is a little bit lowish. We only have 37% block chance because we're not really investing in block or anything. This guy wants them bracers. You guys think we should grab this 3 exalts real quick when we're doing the video? I think we should. 3 exalts. We take those. I have not been buying any gear yet, but I have been doing some trading to just kind of like acquire resources from things that I've found. But I guess that's another thing I should mention is that, yeah, this character has done just fine in basically an SSF kind of scenario, right? Haven't had to purchase any gear to kind of keep him propped up. Those little chaos thingies definitely hurt, though. We go back to the town real quick. Get this guy his bracers. So that's a good sign, right? I guess we're in the stage where we're kind of just farming, acquiring a bunch of resources, and then eventually we'll probably do some shopping. We'll try to bolster out our life, our strength, some chaos resist. Thanks, dude. Kind of just filling the gaps, right? And then eventually we can grab a weapon and whatnot. But I think for now, like my weapon that we just sort of found on the ground seems to be handling the job okay. We still seem to be able to have plenty of stun build up. Don't seem to be struggling to prime mobs for stun with 1 Boneshatter. I guess a couple things that like I want to look out for are I want to make sure that we are one-shotting with Boneshatter. And then once we stop one-shotting with Boneshatter, we can maybe subtract like a little bit of attack speed or other things to make sure we're doing enough damage. But I mean, as you can hopefully tell, things feel pretty smooth. And this is not a crazy high map, but it's also without any kind of crazy gear. Let's see if we can get that guy. Sometimes you gotta hit him with the one last little auto attack to cold him down. But overall, I've been really enjoying this new league. Like, I know it's not like a full league, but like the new kind of update has been really fun. No, don't drowning orb me. Feels like I think what's happening is that there are a lot of people who are playing like some crazy builds, and then those builds got nerfed a bit. And I've just been playing Warrior the whole time and loving Warrior, and Warrior didn't really get changed much. And if it did, there were some things that I think were like overall buffs. So I mean, I'm having a great time. I love Path of Exile. I feel like the grind is really nice. The sense of like progression is really nice. You do face some like resistance from the game, right? There are things in the game that'll kill you if you're like not paying attention or whatever. And I think that could be maybe more frustrating in hardcore. But I did hardcore last league and I enjoyed it. I didn't do hardcore from the start, but I did hardcore with a character, with a Warbringer. And that was pretty fun. Didn't want to start off with hardcore this time. Just wanted to kind of see what was going on first things first. But it's been good. Let's hit this ritual real quick. We did kind of pick a bit of a juicy map, didn't we? We're doing good on time though, I think, so not too tight for time for the video at least. I can show you guys a nice map, and the good news is it has a boss in the map too, so that'll be a good thing to be able to show you. I don't think that thing hits on my hammer, does it? It's like right in the... Oh, there it goes. Oh, but then one of the things that you can do with strong mods, or strong mobs, is just Boneshatter little mobs onto them. If it's, like, freaky. If you don't just want to, like, sit there and tank them and try to perfect strike them, which you can do. It's just, I understand it could also be a little sketchy to do that if they're hitting you hard. But there was even a mob, it was an augury where we fought the boss, but there's a breach in the boss room, and I just, like, started the breach and just was smacking breach mobs to damage the boss. It was pretty funny, and it worked. There is a rare all the way over there that survived. I'll go get him real quick. Just grab the checkpoint. How did you survive? Sneaky. They're just chilling in the house. Okay. Boosh. Light them up. The big hammer. There we go. Another thing to mention that I've noticed is, I think I touched on it for a second, but map sustain seems to be quite a bit better. You get map drops in the maps, of course, and the maps cannot. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. We'll be fine. I just wanted to get more mobs first. The map drops cannot drop from like a lower map tier than what you're running, I don't think. And then you get a lot of maps from, or like you get maps of like one tier higher. This is really sketchy. From the bosses, which is really nice. Super sketch. But if we have minions that we can prime for stun, then we can blast the rares. But like, yeah, the augury rituals where it's just all in this room and all the little chaos pustules everywhere. You gotta kind of stick and move. Don't be standing still for too long. The pustules will get you. But the gameplay is like kind of bob in. Oh my gosh, that hurt. We didn't die though, thank goodness. What is this place? Okay, there we go. Bit of a clencher there. Let's see, anything cool? Alchemy gives you max prefixes, so you could roll a weapon really fast with that. I mean, I guess. We might want to reroll, but I'll take a map too. Block chance, armor, life, cold res. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Not the worst. Added flat fizz. Okay. Why is it not switching back? Whatever. Okay. Let's not dawdle too much. But I'll take that shield with me. I do also want to do this. We're doing all this stuff in this map. We're doing all this stuff. So, say a mob survives your Boneshatter, you just get a little perfect strike and smack them. Let's see what these guys want. Is that another rare over here? Oosh. Okay. Good. Yeah, I don't want to take the extra damage as elemental yet. We're tanky, but I'm not trying to get too cute. Jackpot. Hexproof is fine. More damage though? Question mark? Yeah, it's fine. Let's just do this one. Let's do it. Warrior's definitely what I want to play anyway. In terms of like this particular ascendancy, it feels smooth, but we're still just playing like Mace Warrior, so more the same in that one. My recovery is being limited by somebody. I still might want to go Stampede on this guy though at some point. Like Stampede, Armor Break, Sunder, like what I did on my Titan. I may want to transition into that for like late game, but right now, Elite Boneshatter just feels really good. Oh, the clear is solid. Oh yeah, just love to see it, dude. Just love to see it. And they said they dropped fewer precursors. I don't know if I feel that personally. You know what I mean? Hello there. Oh, hello. A little bit of fizz damage on that bad boy. We can determine if this guy's gonna be good or not pretty quick. I mean, we'll put him in that there dump tab. Just call it good. Dump it. 7% chance to inflict bleeding. I know. Dude, I'm telling you, man. I tell you. Off stream recording drops the best loot. So thanks. Thanks for the good loot, guys. All right, let's keep it going. Yeah, keep tuning into the videos. Keep make sure you show them big love and the thumbs up, so we can keep recording them and getting big loot, right? And remember, we also do a lot of gaming on stream and stuff. But I think for the build videos, it is kind of fun to have some gameplay to go along with it. Sometimes I just be like, yeah, we don't have time, we gotta go. Make sure you watch the live stream to see the gameplay, but when we have a moment, I think it's nice to show it off a little bit. And hopefully it looks like fun to you. I mean, I think it's engaging. You gotta kind of stick and move a little bit. there is the element of like when your build is smooth, you just kind of one-shot the whole screen. Uh-oh, I rolled the wrong way. No, I'm dead. But I mean, like, you know, it can be not smooth if you make little mistakes. All right, things can get weird very quickly, and I think that's probably appropriate. There we go. All right, now with all that completed, we can go and see what these. I think there's probably an essence in the zone, by the looks of it, with the boss. I'll show you what a little boss damage looks like. Keep this rolling. Alrighty, what do we have here? It is an essence. So again, like I told you, Daze shout. He's gonna one shot. Okay, we're okay. One shot. He survived it. Daze shout again. Get him primed up for stun. I think he probably was already. Then we infernal, seismic, and then drop the hammer. Drop a little charged up perfect strike on him. If he needs any extra encouragement to die, perfect strike's the one way to do it. It's even hitting. Gotta go. Let's see, now he's ready to be primed for stun again, so the perfect strike isn't reliable. Do it this way instead. And then do the combo again, even though we're standing in ice for sort of slow. And that ought to do it. Unless he dodges it. Mobs definitely are dodging attacks more. Maybe my conk effect is messing up my perfect strike. Ooh, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Off-stream recording is OP. That's my first divine of the league. What the heck? I'm telling you, man. So, perfect strike sometimes just whiffs, dude. So that's what makes me want to play Sunder. It takes at the same time for the ability to go off, but it actually hits stuff. Dude, one monster remains. And it's me. Alright, dude, we got our first divine. The recording of the vid. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. So I guess we're rich now. I guess the next stream, or next build update, you will see me fully decked out in Giga Loot. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. But anyway, that's the build. Very smooth. Even without very good gear, it still, like, gets the job done. It's engage 30% movement speed boots too. Sheesh. It's engaging. 179 max life with Giga Res. Okay. I guess we're also just hitting that tier of map where we're gonna maybe start to get some loot. The combat's fun. It's engaging. You get to leap in, Boneshatter. You're rolling around. You're bobbing and weaving. You're trying to avoid enemies' attacks. And when you're in rhythm, you feel like a beast. And then you mess up your roll, and then you start to get just crunched by mobs. And then it's like, okay, so still got to play the game. You still got to keep it sharp. But I think that's a good way for it to be. It's a lot of fun. So if you guys want to give it a try, send it. The main bread and butter while you're leveling, like I've told you guys before in the other videos, is find a way to prime for stun, hammer him with Boneshatter. Once you can get Brink support, your life is a dream with Boneshatter. Then you just stack, make sure you have enough damage, then stack AoE, one-shot screens, have a little something like Perfect Strike for single target damage until you get Hammer of the Gods, and you can kind of set up that stun them, Infernal Cry, Seismic Cry, Hammer of the Gods for big one-shot damage, then just keep it rolling. That's the plan. I will keep you guys posted on how the build's going. Absolutely make sure you leave me some nice comments in the chat. I love reading comments, the things that you guys want to see, builds that you guys are doing. Is always great in the comments. Then come hang out on stream, tell me what's up, and we'll see you there. I'm gonna get this video rendered. I'm gonna work on the Mobalytics guide real quick for you as well, and then I will see you guys on stream later today. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.